Crafty people, this is Ellen with EGI Designs. I just finished up making this round shaped birthday card, and I do have gems on the front, so there is some dimension there. This is popped up on a few layers behind that, and I do have the inside. It's beautiful. But I was getting ready to make an envelope for this, and I wanted to show you how I would handle this situation. Since it's round, you're like, what kind of envelope? What are we going to do here? I love to use the 123 punch board from We Are Memory Keepers for my envelopes. This particular circle measures 5 3/4 across. So I'm going to do a 6 by 6 square envelope. And I like to use, I have an app, not an app, a website on my phone that I like, and it's, you can put in all the measurements. You can put it in metric or imperial. You can have it, is it a 1-layer card? Are there many layers? To give you a little bit of extra room. But basically you put in, so on here, I'm going to do it 6 by 6, and then it comes up down here. You need the paper size is 9 3/4, which I've cut square, and then the score line is 4 7/8. So then what you do, once you have your paper cut to the correct size, is you open up your punch board, and I always double check because I forget. 4 7/8. So you'd come over here to 4 7/8, and that is one that is actually marked, so that's good. So it's the one right before the 5, and you punch it, and then you draw a line right down there, and it extends right out from that little arm sticking out there. So, and I like to use the Cricut scoring tool as my score. It's got a rounded top, so it doesn't really hurt the paper, but it's small enough that it, leaves you a really nice score line. So once we do that, then we turn it. And so what you want to do, this track here, you want to line up with this score line. So if you slide it across, you can feel it where it catches. Luckily for us, since we're doing a square anyway, it's still the same measurement, 4 7/8. But if you're doing a rectangle, the opposite sides are at the same measurement. So we do that again, turn it. Again, you can feel it when it catches, but again, every measurement on this one's going to be at 4 7/8. Okay, so now we have our makings of our envelope. And then on this, the cool thing is if you turn it around, and here is a corner rounder. So you just put it in there and push the button. That one seems sad. Oh, I got it. And you don't have to round the corners if you don't want to, but I like to do that. Okay, and then we are all done with the punch board. So the first thing that I do is I flip it over, and I burnish all of the score lines. Okay, so then the first thing you want to do is, before you start sealing it all together, make sure your card fits, which in this case it does perfectly. So good. Alright, the first thing we need to do is we need to close up the bottom flap. And what I like to do is I tuck in, it's weird because it's a square. When it's rectangle it's a little bit easier to see. But I like to tuck in the bottom flap and then put these on the top. And basically what you want to do is put adhesive between, can't see because it's the edge there. Do I have another colored piece of paper around here? Alright, I'll just take this. Okay. So basically, you see the edge there? So you only want to put tape between this edge and where this edge is that's underneath. Okay. So usually on the rectangle envelopes you can use the 3/8 inch width of the double-sided adhesive. With the square one, it looks to be a little bit smaller of a margin, so I'm just going to use the 1/4. So I have my little tape stacker here, which I love, and keep everything on there. Alright, so I'm just going to put this on here. Okay, so now we have that side, so now we need to do this side. And I like to burnish this in with the bone folder. And then I really like to use, I have a vinyl weeding tool, and I like to use that to pick up the tape things. So because this is a square, these are going to overlap. Normally if it's a rectangle they don't. So you want to do the side flaps first, and then take off the second tape, and then you're just going to fold this up. And then I like to squish that in with the bone folder. And I reinforce all the edges. Okay. And then you're going to come up here and you're going to add the tape along the edge. And you'll just keep this on here until you're ready to mail. And then you just peel it up and seal up your card. I like to also put a little piece right here just as like a added security. I'm kind of paranoid about mailing my cards and making sure everything is all safe and good to go. So when it's time, I will peel this off, peel this off, peel this off, and then we'll be able to mail this. This, because it is a square, if you are in the United States, this will cost extra. You will need a non-machinable stamp. You will also, and that is up to 1 ounce. You want to weigh it, and if it is over 1 ounce, you're going to need an extra ounce stamp on top of that. So you need to have one of those butterfly stamps, the non-machinable, to cover it being a square. And then by weight, the butterfly will carry you up to the 1st ounce, and then if it's over that, then you need an extra ounce stamp. Alright, so let me show you how I would be packaging this up to go to make sure that it's safe. So again, because I'm paranoid with mailing things, I don't want this to be so flimsy in the mail here, and then it hits this and there's potential to harm the card. Also, this does have, they're not very high, but it does have little dewdrops on there and the sentiment. So what I normally like to do, if this was just a rectangle card, I would cut a piece of cardstock, whatever the same, you know, if it's an A2 or a 5x7, I would cut, you know, the same size as my card, and then I like to run it through an embossing folder that usually matches whatever the theme is. So in this case, it's Happy Birthday. And this just gives a little, like a cushion because it's embossed. I will then put that over the card front and then put that in the envelope, so it smooths out you know, any of the gems or anything like that, and it strengthens the whole, the envelope, and everything is kind of smoothed out and it's not lumpy bumpy, and your card should arrive safely. But in this case, I wanted to reinforce these loose corners since there's no support there at all. So what I did is I took a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, cut it in half, so then I had 6 by 12, and then I scored it at 6. So now I've made like a little booklet, okay, to put the card in. And so I'd taken the embossing folder, ran it through this side, then ran it through this side. So then what I would do is put this in here, like a little package, and then all of this will go in here. Okay, so then it's got a little extra support on the corners. It smooths out the gems, you know, so you're good to go. It is still a little bit bendy, but because it is a square, it needs the non-machinable stamp, and they will not put it through the regular machine. So there is my tip for you if you need to mail a shaped card, or if you had like a arched card. Same thing, if you wanted to, you know, have a little bit more support for the top edges, if it was an arch card, then you know, could either just put a rectangle piece over the top or do like a little folder like this, just to give it a little added support and love there. Okay, hopefully this has been helpful to you. But this is the way that I would mail it, to try to make sure that everything would arrive in one piece to my recipient. I will list everything that I used today in the description box. I do have affiliate links. Come join me over on Facebook, Pinterest, and my new blog. And if you aren't already a subscriber and you found value in today's video, I would love it if you could click that button and join our little crafty community. I would love to have you as a subscriber. So thanks so much for watching, and until next time, like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Here are a couple more videos I thought you might like. Thanks so much for watching.